Hey guys and girls, here's your Achampnator again. Today I'm going to continue Detective Pikachu Returns. And yeah, no long talking, let's go. Check the TV. We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you this breaking news. Oh, what's going on?
According to amateur footage we've received from a viewer, Pokémon appear to have caused an explosion. This explosion occurred in the mountain range northeast of Rhyme City. This may be related to the recent uptick in incidents involving Pokémon. Rhyme City Police and the newly established Pokémon Protection Bureau are investigating. Amelia Christie signing off.
Amelia
Hey,
Christie.
Tim, did you catch that?
I hope that incident doesn't have anything to do with Dad.
Same here.
You told me 2 years ago. Dad's alive, and we'll be able to find him as long as we don't give up.
Oh, he don't find him yet?
Yeah.
Or found him yet?
You two is still our only connection to finding Harry.
Whispering to Pikachu, are you? You're just like your father, talking to Pokémon like that.
Oh, really? It's been 2 years since the R incident. Since then, we've solved all kinds of cases. The mayor even gave us an award for it. I can still talk to Pikachu and understand him. If the two of us keep solving cases together, I'm sure we'll find my dad someday.
Hopefully. The day after the awards ceremony. Rhyme City. Whimsicott. Rides the wind from town to town. Oh.
Whoa, that's a lot of Whimsicott.
Sure is. They ride through on seasonal winds every year.
I hear they can be real pranksters.
If they get in a house they like, they scatter cotton everywhere.
Sounds like a pain to clean up.
Yep. The sweet smell of coffee is calling my name.
It's the perfect Pikachu bait.
Tim!
Huh? What's wrong? Frank Holiday, Rhyme City Police Inspector.
Inspector Holiday, did you finally find my dad?
Sorry. No. I'm here on a different case. We've received reports of a jewel theft. Could you lend me a hand with this one?
Of course.
The incident occurred at Dennis' residence, the mansion down the street. Sorry, but Brad is waiting for me. I'll go ahead and meet up with you there. So much for my coffee.
Aw, too bad, Pikachu. Okay, let's go, Pikachu. Wait a second, Tim. What for? There's no need to rush. You've gotta be calm and unhurried if you want to do your best in the skating. Yeah, I guess it's true. Pikachu's a real talkative Pokemon. If you see this Pikachu icon in the lower left corner of the screen, you can press the right button to chat with him. Sometimes Pikachu will try to get your attention, and the Pikachu icon will bounce to let you know he wants to talk. If you see this icon bouncing, press the right button to hear what Pikachu has to say.
Whoa!
Hey, don't ignore me.
Look, I know we need to hurry. But would it really hurt if we relaxed a bit? For instance... Here's a good idea. You could listen to some sage advice from a great detective like me.
Okay, oh, but Holiday's waiting. We better go join him. I appreciate you coming on such short notice, Tim. This way, the crime took place at the Dennis residence, up ahead. Okay. Dennis residence, huh?
Well, if it isn't the great detectives.
Brad McMaster, Rhyme City Police Lieutenant. Manectric, dedicated to law and order. Okay. It's been a while, Brad. I see you're on the case too. I suppose that means you're as well. You're private detectives who love sticking your noses into everything, every little thing. If Mr. Dennis hadn't requested you personally, I'd be asking you to leave right now. Yep, he's still a jerk. Think he's still holding a grudge from the time we showed him up. Manic. He says no funny business. Sheesh, no wonder you two are partners. That's enough, Brad. We're going to be conducting this investigation together. This is the scene of the crime, right? Yes. This mansion belongs to Sanjeev Dennis, a jeweler. Dennis residence. Mr. Dennis is one of the wealthiest men in Rhyme City. Under normal circumstances, a civilian like yourself would never have the opportunity to meet him. Make sure you don't do anything to offend him. Oh, and don't get in the way of our investigation either. He's just got to get the dick in somewhere, doesn't he? Okay, Tim, come inside. The missing jewel. Dennis residence 1F.
I see.
Alright, Tim. Mr. Dennis is waiting for you in the room to the right. Thanks, Inspector Holiday.
Oh, Tim, I've been waiting for you.
What a voice. Sanjeev Dennis, jeweler. Grow Life, guard at the Dennis residence. My name is Sanjeev Dennis. I'm a jeweler and this is my partner Grow Life. Grow. I am Detective Tim Goodman and this is my partner Pikachu. Sorry to jump right into it, but could you please tell us what you know about the incident?
Oh.
A precious jewel was stolen while I was out of the house. It's called the Aurora Drop, and it's a very rare jewel indeed. The Aurora Drop? What a mysterious name, magical even. The thief injured one of my staff members and made off with the jewel. Thankfully, my staff members' injuries were minor, and yet... Is something sticking out to you as odd? Well, the police are treating my trusted butler as the prime suspect. They think the butler did it? Could you tell me a bit more about the stolen jewel? It looks like this. Interesting. Most gemstones must first be cut and polished into beautiful jewels. But the Aurora Drop is said to have naturally formed into its shape. The way it shines looks a bit like an aurora. Yes, that's precisely how it got its name. The Aurora Drop has been the subject of many a tale, but it was thought to be nothing more than fiction. Even among us jewelers, for the longest time we called it the Jewel of the Legend. Wow, he wasn't kidding. When we called it precious, guess it's no surprise that someone wanted to steal it. It definitely sounds valuable. Where were you displaying it? I kept it securely locked within a special reinforced case inside my jewel storage room. There are locks on both the storage room door and the reinforced case. And yet, despite all that security, it still got stolen. You mentioned that the police already have a suspect. Yes, they believe that the thief is my own trusted butler Barnes. Why do they think that? Because Barnes and I are the only people who can access the key to the storage room. What's keeping someone else from getting to it? The key is always kept around Growlife's neck. If anyone but Barnes or myself attempted to take it from her, Growlife would start barking. My Growlife is a very loyal Pokémon. She would never allow the key to be taken by a stranger. I don't see a key around Growlife's neck right now. The police think Barnes took it. That would certainly make sense, assuming Barnes really is the culprit. Mr. Dennis, if possible, I'd like to talk with Barnes. He's currently being questioned by the police. But you don't believe Barnes is the thief, is that correct? I've known Barnes since we were young. He's worked in this home for years and has always served us well. I'm certain that he'd never steal from me. And I couldn't possibly imagine him hurting anyone. Well, for everyone it's always the first time, right? So, you're saying Barnes didn't do it and the real culprit is still at large? That's right, someone else must have stolen the jewel. Please help me prove that Barnes is innocent. Ah, so that's why he called us here, to clear his name. We'll talk to Barnes later. So, finding the Aurora job and clearing Barnes of suspicion. Those are the two things you called us here to do. Could you please? You're the only ones I can count on. Our job is to investigate the case and reveal the truth. We won't know if Barnes is truly innocent until we look into this more. Yeah, the police must have at least some reason to suspect him. But we'll do what we can if that's acceptable to you. We'll take the case. That's more than acceptable. Thank you, Tim. Great. In that case, may I start investigating the scene of the crime? Of course, the jewel storage room is just upstairs. I know you won't let me down. Wait a second, Tim. There's something I want to try, starting with this case. Something you want to try? Yeah, a case notebook. The writers for Detective Journal swear by it. Detective Journal? That's the magazine you're always reading, right? Yeah, that's the one. They researched the most efficient way for detectives to organize their case notes. The solution they came up with was a case notebook. Sounds intriguing. How does it work? I'm getting to that. First, open up your notebook. Sanjeev Dennis' jewels has apparently been stolen. But how did the culprit steal it? Investigate the scene of the crime on the second floor for clues. First, let's write in the notebook any burning questions that arise while we are investigating. We'll summarize the testimony and the evidence that we've gathered during our investigation on the page below. The Aurora job is Mr. Dennis' prized jewel. Someone has stolen it. After we've collected enough testimonies and evidence to begin, the deducing option will appear. When you select this, we can start deducing the answers to our questions. We don't have enough testimonies or evidence right now, but once we do, we'll be able to start deducing. I guess actually using the notebook is the best approach. So Tim, what do we have to do right now? We have to collect testimonies and evidence to figure out how the jewel was stolen. To do that, we first have to investigate the scene of crime. That's right, let's go check out the jewel storage room. Where is it? The jewel storage room has been left exactly as it was at the time of the incident. Inspector Holiday's already filled me in. Please go right ahead.
Yes.
Thank you. Jewel storage room. Okay, here we are. Let's deduce the whole thing. What is it, Pikachu? I checked out the door, but there are no signs of forced entry. Then we can be fairly certain that the thief used a key to get in. According to Dennis, this room's where the Aurora Drop used to be. Let's take a closer look. A green jewel. That fresh green color reminds me of the forest, just looking as it is calming. This area looks more disturbed than the rest. Let's start investigating, we might find a clue. Alright, don't let any details slip past you, Tim.
Let me see.
Let's see, where should we look first? That looks like a part of the jewel case. Based on the shape, do you think the top half of the case was cut off? Yeah, it looks that way. It's a really clean cut. Slicing it must have taken one seriously sharp blade. I doubt a human could pull that off. Here's the blue feather. Do you think the Pokemon it belonged to was in this room? Maybe it's from a Pokemon that lives in the mansion. Let's look into that later.
Hey, Tim! Check it out! Looks good, huh? Disguises are a key part of detective work, you know.
Yeah, whatever. Now quit goofing off and investigate.
He clearly doesn't appreciate my art. Perhaps I need to give him a little more training.
Oops. It fell off. There's some cotton on the ground. It looks really fluffy and soft. What's a bunch of cotton doing in here?
Whoa!
You sure you've checked everything? Everywhere? This is the only case that's damaged. Must be where they kept the Aurora top. The edge looks like it was sliced clean with a blade. What kind of blade could slice this cleanly through such a sturdy jewel case? The jewel case is still locked. Like Dennis said, the jewel in this case was stored under lock and key. The key to the case is a different key than the one to the jewel storage room door. I wonder who has the key then.
Right.
We've covered everything I was wondering about. Any other spots you want to check? No. Base of the jewel case is firmly fixed to the floor. Yeah, moving the base doesn't even look possible. I don't see anything else worth investigating. Sam, let's go back.
Okay, let's start deducing. Great.
We've got everything. We need to make our deductions. Let's solve this puzzle, Tim. Yes. Begin deducing.
Okay.
You've probably figured out how the culprit stole this jewel by now, huh? Alright, select begin deducing in your case notebook.
Okay.
We have a few plausible theories. Which do you think is right? Culprit cut open the case and stole the jewel. Unlock the case and stole. Culprit hasn't actually stolen the jewel yet. There's cotton all over the room, right? Maybe the culprit hit the Aurora drop in the cotton. Are you serious? Cotton. Are you serious, Tim? The theory doesn't explain in any way, shape, or form how the jewel was taken out of the case, does it? Huh? I guess not. And if the jewel were here, police probably would have found it during the investigation. That answer was supposed to be a joke. Do us both a favor and get some better material.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
From what we've seen of the crime scene, we can tell that the jewel case was sliced open. After that, the Aurora drop was removed from the case and taken away. Right, and we saw that the jewel case was still locked, which supports that claim. We still need to investigate more to determine how the case was sliced open. But at least, now we know how the thief got their hands on the Aurora drop. Yes, we've made our first step forward. The culprit appears to have cut open the case and taken the jewel. You understand how to use the case notebook now. Yet, once I've got some evidence, I'll start deducing. Feel free to start deducing whenever you feel like it. After investigating the scene, we now know how the crime was carried out. We can be certain that the culprit sliced open the case and took the jewel from inside. But there's just one thing that's strange. Oh yeah? Yeah, think, Tim. What's strange about the way the crime was committed?
Oh.
The door to the storage room was opened with a key, but the jewel case was still locked when it was sliced apart. That's right. So that means the thief only had one of the keys, the one to the storage room. They didn't have the key to the jewel case. According to Mr. Dennis, only he and Barnes can access the jewel storage room. I understand why the police suspect Barnes, but I'm not so sure. Obviously, it'd be best if we could talk to Barnes ourselves, but he's still being questioned. We need to ask Mr. Dennis about the lock on the jewel case. Right, after we wrap up here, let's go ask him. How's the investigation going, Tim? Oh, Mr. Dennis. Sorry, I couldn't stay just waiting around. Have you discovered anything? It does appear that the culprit used the storage room key to gain entry. We believe they then cut open the jewel case and took the Aurora job. Is that so? I suppose that doesn't help Barnes much, since he has access to the key. I have a question for you, Mr. Dennis. How has the key to the jewel case? Who has the key to the jewel case? I have it right here. I always carry the key to the jewel case on my person. I've known Barnes a very long time, but I still won't give him this key. The security of the jewel case is my personal responsibility. Got it. So, both Barnes and Dennis can access the key to the jewel storage room. But only Mr. Dennis has access to the key to the jewel case itself. That's valuable information, Mr. Dennis. Thank you. Really? Really? I thought I might be getting in the way, but I'm glad to hear I could help. The Aurora job is meant to become a symbol of revival for Rhyme City. Anyway, I'm counting on you, Tim. A symbol of revival? Let's ask Dennis about that later. Bum. The police suspect Brandon Barnes is the culprit. Begin interviewing the people and Pokemon in the mansion. The thief cut open the case to steal the jewel, but they had the key to get into the storage room. And the only people who have access to the key are Dennis and Barnes. So that makes sense that the police would suspect Barnes. If the key hadn't been used to unlock the storage room, Barnes wouldn't be under suspicion in the first place. Why would he do that, knowing people would suspect him? Maybe he didn't think that far ahead. In any case, based on what we found at the scene of the crime, we can't be certain of anything just yet. We need to talk to Barnes and the other people in the mansion, and hear what they have to say. Nah, just the people. The Pokemon too. I'll interpret for you when we talk to them. Alright, I'm counting on you, Pikachu. Okay, now that we've got our next steps figured out, let's start interviewing everyone right away.
Okay.
Alright, we've got some useful information. Let's stop for a moment and get our thoughts together. Based on everything we heard, is there anything that suggests Barnes is innocent? Let's review the information we gather and see what we come up with. Okay, let's interview everyone. Hey Tim, there's something on the floor by the window. Should we check it out? Near the window? Uh-huh. Near the window.
Oh!
What's all this? Pokemon feathers? Sure looks like it. They are scattered all over the floor and the windows open. Maybe a Pokemon got in or out through here. Do you think it has anything to do with this case? Look at this. One of these feathers is dark, and then darker than the others. You're right, the other 6 are a lighter shade of blue. Something about that is nagging at me. This is the jewel storage room, the scene of the crime. This room is currently being searched by the police.
Whoa!
We may be investigating a crime, but we should still respect the residents' privacy. We shouldn't go barging into rooms that have nothing to do with the case, Tim. True, we need to focus on the jewel storage room. Right.
Hello there, Detective Tim. No, I mean, Detective Goodman?
Larry Turner, new staff member of the Dennis residence. Wait, you are the detective, right? That's what Mr. Dennis said at least. The name's... wait, that's not proper enough, sorry. My name is Larry Turner, and I'm a member of the house staff. House staff, huh? Seems to know where his head. If you need anything, just let me know. I mean, please inform me if... You really don't have to be so formal with us. Thanks, that's a huge relief. I got this job a while ago, but I'm still not used to talking all fancy. Uh-oh, is that a problem? Well, it's a good thing for me that Barnes deals with all the important guests. My main duties are taking care of the Pokemon, managing the house, and groundskeeping. Oh, I can handle all that, no problem. I don't know, this guy isn't exactly filling me with confidence in his ability to do this job. Anyway, you wanted to ask about what happened, right? I mean, I already told the police everything I know. I am really sorry for taking up more of your time. Oh, sorry, that's not what I meant. I'm not complaining or anything. It's just that I don't remember what happened very well. Something attacked me out of nowhere and I blacked out. Something? Attacked him? So not the thief then. Can you please tell us more about that, Mr. Turner? Sure, no problem. Right, so where to start? I was just doing my job like normal day today. I'd made food for the Pokemon, did some cleaning around the mansion, said that sort of thing. I think I was tidying the garden when it happened. I saw Ducklet fly out of a second story window. As I recall, I wondered where she was going. I mean, usually Ducklet just walks out of the front door. It seemed weird to me, so I went upstairs to see what was going on. That's when I saw that the door to the jewel storage room was wide open. As if that wasn't shocking enough, the moment I went to look inside, I suddenly got punched by a Pokemon. The next thing I knew, I was lying on the sofa and someone was treating my wounds. A Pokemon punched you? Yeah, I feel like I glimpsed a small red figure for just a moment. Based on the size, it couldn't have been human, so I'm guessing it was a Pokemon. A red Pokemon? Do you know what kind it was? I'm really not sure, it all happened so fast. I see, I'm so sorry that happened to you. But I'm glad you weren't seriously hurt. Hahaha, that's what the doctor said too. No, Pokemon would wanna steal the Aurora drop. It's possible that the culprit ordered their partner Pokemon to swap the jewel and punch out Turner. So Tim, now that we've heard Turner's story, what do you think? We need to find the Ducklet that flew out the window and that red Pokemon too. Yep, you got it.
Excuse me?
Did you see anything else when the Pokemon attacked you? The thief who brought the Pokemon along was probably near. Unfortunately, that's all I saw. I see. Can you think of any other details that might give us a clue about the culprit? Nothing in particular is coming to mind. I mean, Mr. Dennis is such a nice person. I've never heard of anyone holding a grudge against him. And I was really surprised to hear that Barnes is a suspect. You don't think Barnes is responsible? I guess the police must have for some reason to suspect him. But honestly, I just can't believe it. Barnes is still showing me the ropes around here. He's a great co-worker with tons of experience. I mean, if you'd known Barnes before all this, you could never even imagine him being a thief.
Excuse me?
Do you know anything about the stolen jewel? The Aurora job, I've never even seen the thing. It's been shut up in the storage room ever since it was brought to the house. Of course, I know it's valuable and all. I assume that's what's been causing all the arguments between Mr. and Mrs. Dennis lately. What sort of arguments? In case you haven't heard, Mr. Dennis says he's gonna donate the Aurora job. Seems like Mrs. Dennis is against that plan. They've been fighting about it almost nightly. Every night? It must really be a point of contention. I guess Mrs. Dennis just doesn't want to give up such a valuable jewel. So the Aurora job's been driving a wedge between husband and wife, huh? Okay.
I see.
I take it you've heard what Mr. Dennis has to say. I guess he also told you about his butler. He's definitely not pleased that Barnes has fallen under suspicion. It sure seems that way. In my position, I'm not at liberty to share all the information we've gathered. But if there's anything I can do to help, just let me know. Thank you. What was the situation in the mansion at the time of the incident? We're still looking into that. I'm sure you'll get more direct answers by asking the witnesses themselves. He's right, we should take this one step at a time and gather our own intel. I was told Barnes is the police's prime suspect. Well, the circumstantial evidence certainly seems to be pointing in his direction. He doesn't sound terribly convinced. Does anything strike you as odd? Yes, actually, I can't think of a single motive for Barnes to steal that jewel. He doesn't appear to bear any ill will toward Mr. Dennis, and he's in no trouble financially. That being said, we may uncover a motive in the course of our investigation. but for now I can't say anything with certainty. Understood. I hear the Aurora Drop is an incredibly valuable jewel. The Aurora Drop's not just valuable, it's famous throughout the entire jewelry industry. Then there must be plenty of people who'd like to get their hands on it. Could the jewel have been stolen by an intruder? I can't rule out that possibility, but based on current evidence, I'd say the likelihood of a burglary is low. Inspector Holiday, I know this has nothing to do with the current case, but you want to ask me about Harry. Yes, do the police have any new leads on my father's whereabouts? I'm sorry, Tim, but we haven't made any developments on that front. Oh, well, thanks anyway. I still don't understand it myself. Harry was working on the R case when he went missing, so it stands to reason that if you followed that thread, you'd find Harry too. But the case has been closed and we still don't have a single clue. Seriously, where did Harry disappear to? Don't be discouraged, Tim. Look at how far you've come in the 2 years since you moved to the city in search of your father. You've become such a great detective that the mayor himself recognized you with an award. You'll find Harry, I'm sure of it, and in the meantime I'll keep offering whatever help I can. Yeah, you're right. Thanks, Inspector Holiday. Lieutenant McMaster is currently interviewing Mr. Barnes in this room.
Excuse me?
I guess it would be too much to ask for us to join in, right? I am afraid we can't allow even the great Detective Tim to do that. Police protocol, you understand? Hey, I have a couple questions to ask. Got a moment? Manic. Don't wanna waste time chatting while you're on duty, huh? Awfully stubborn, aren't you? You're even harder to talk to than Brad's manic trick.
Yes? You certainly don't look like you're with the police. State your business.
Claudia Dennis, St. Chief's Dennis's wife. We're detectives, Mr. Dennis asked us to investigate the incident that occurred here. Detectives? Oh, I suppose my husband did say something about that. Your husband? That must mean your... Claudia Dennis, St. Chief's wife. I'm sorry to bother you, but do you mind if we ask you some questions? I do mind, actually. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. The case has already been solved. What do you mean? The police said that Barnes is beyond all this, so the matter's settled. We feared that he's under suspicion, yes, but we can't be certain it was Barnes who committed the crime. You sound just like my husband, but nothing you say will change the fact that Barnes is the culprit. She's it for sure. Barnes' partner Douglas was up to no good. I saw it with my own eyes. Did you witness the crime? Barnes' partner Douglas was involved in the crime? You look as though you don't believe me.
Excuse me?
Is it true that you witnessed the crime? Well, I didn't exactly see it clearly. Huh? But I did witness some irrefutable proof. What exactly do you see? At the time of the incident, I was enjoying a cup of tea in my room on the second floor. Just then I noticed a bird Pokémon flying outside the window. A bird Pokémon? Yes, I clearly saw a blue bird Pokémon. I had to have been Douglas. We did find blue feathers near the window and in the storage room. So those were Douglas? In hindsight, she was obviously stealing the jewel. I also heard a faint sound just before that, like something metallic. A metallic sound? Do you know what could have made that sound? A noise? No, I don't, but the storage room was ransacked, wasn't it? I suppose she must have broken something in the act. And I feared it confirmed that Douglas' feathers were found in the room. isn't there proof enough that Barnes is the culprit? She's pretty darn convinced of her own theory. But all it's based on is a metallic sound in the side of a flying blue bird. Pokemon, pretty flimsy if you ask me. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mrs. Dennis, but that information alone isn't enough to definitively prove that Barnes is the culprit. Then hurry up and find whoever is and get that jewel back. Isn't that what my husband hired you for? I get that she's upset, but she doesn't have to take out on us.
Excuse me?
Mr. Dennis seems confident that Barnes is innocent. Oh yes, I'm sure he is. He's always been too trusting. Especially when it comes to Barnes. Those two really trust each other that much. I'm told Barnes has worked here for a very long time. Much longer in fact that I've known Sanchief. I suppose that's why Barnes is always taking my husband's side. What do you mean by that? Whenever my husband and I have a disagreement, Barnes inevitably sides with Sanchief. Even though I'm sure he believes he's being impartial. That lack of self-awareness is yet another one of his many flaws. I get the feeling Claudia is not a huge fan of Barnes. Do you think that's why she's so sure that he's the thief?
Excuse me?
Could you tell me more about Douglas? Douglas is Barnes' partner. She dotes on him tirelessly and is always by his side. You mentioned earlier that she might be involved in the crime somehow. Would Douglas be capable of such a thing? Yes, she even helps Barnes out with his shopping. She'd certainly be capable of making off with the jewel. Well, whether or not Douglas stole the jewel. The one thing that seems certain is that she really loves Barnes.
Yes?
The Aurora Drop is an incredibly valuable jewel. Mr. Dennis told me the same thing. But do you really understand? Can you even comprehend just how valuable it is? Huh? I knew it. Just look at those blank expressions. Hey, my face always looks like this. As it is, I'm not even sure my husband understands the true value of that jewel. After getting his hands on something so precious, why would he want to donate it to Rhyme City? So, you're against donating the Aurora Drop? Of course I am. Treasures like that aren't meant to be paraded about for the general public. They should be preserved for quiet observation by a select few. Hard to imagine her quietly doing anything. Oh Gott. Hey! Oh, it's Cleefel, Mrs. Dennis's partner, apparently. Can I ask you a few questions? Fair! Wow, what gives... No need to be so rude. What's wrong? Seems like she's really suspicious of us. Maybe she's feeling sensitive after the incident here. You
know, Tim, we're really living the good life at our apartment. A huge mansion like this must be a pain to clean.
Yeah, it's true.
Whoa!
Where are you going? There's no reason for us to head back into the city right now. You're right, let's keep investigating the mansion. It's some tea to serve to visitors. I'd prefer coffee myself. Ask me anything you like. Ask me anything you like. About the symbol of a revival. What makes the Aurora Drop Off a symbol of revival? 2 years ago, during the R incident, my jewel shop suffered considerable damage. Wait, you were a victim of the R incident? Yes, some Pokemon who'd been exposed to R went berserk. Their rampage destroyed my shop, to say nothing of the damage done to my jewels and other goods. By the time I already had the Aurora job, I kept it stored safely in this shop. So, was the Aurora job damaged too? No, as a matter of fact, it wasn't. Of all the jewels in my shop, the Aurora job was the only one to remain unscathed. In fact, debris fell so perfectly around the Aurora job that you might believe it was being protected. That's incredible. I guess there's some magic left in the world after all. Ever since then, the Aurora job became known as the jewel that survived the R incident. People started visiting my shop just to see it. And thanks to all that attention, my business was able to get back on its feet. Sounds like a valuable jewel, in more ways than one. What made you decide to bring it back to your mansion, instead of keeping it at your shop? I decided to donate it to Rhyme City. The Aurora job, but why donate something so precious to you? It's not just precious to me, and that's exactly why I decided to donate it. Mayor Myers has done his part in improving our city by declaring the start of Pokemon Friendship Week. I thought it was about time I did mine. So, I wanted to donate the jewel that survived the R incident as a symbol of Rhyme City's revival. I hope that by doing so I can help liven up not just my shop, but the whole city as well. Wow, Dennis, I'm impressed. That's a wonderful gesture. I'm glad you think so. Not everyone is so pleased about it. Oh? Ah, forget I said anything. I shouldn't burn you with concern over such personal matters. For now, I'm calling on you to find the Aurora job as quickly as possible. Understood. We'll do everything we can. Grow. It's Dennis's partner, Grow Life. She sure doesn't look happy. Grow. Apparently she feels responsible. No wonder she's still down. Maybe we should leave her alone for a while. Huh? Now then, Mr. Barnes, we'll thank you not to leave the mansion until further notice. Understood. Hey, it sounds like the police finished questioning Barnes. Let's go talk to him. Yeah. Brandon Barnes, butler of the Dennis residence. How did it come to this? Why are the police so suspicious of me? Excuse me, are you Mr. Barnes? Huh? Who might you be? I am Detective Tim Goodman. Mr. Dennis has hired me to investigate the crime that occurred here. Is that so? My apologies, I'm Brandon Barnes. I work here at the Dennis residence as a butler. Do you mind if we ask you some questions, Mr. Barnes? I realize you must be tired since you were just questioned by the police. Please, don't worry about that. If you've been hired by Mr. Dennis, then it is my duty to give you my full cooperation. Thank you. What would you like me to speak about first?
Yes?
I was away when the incident occurred. It wasn't until after I'd finished my errand and entered the house that I realized something was amiss. I heard Turner cry out from the second floor. When I rushed upstairs, I found him collapsed on the floor in front of the jewel storage room. Turner? So that means Barnes was the first witness to arrive at the scene of the crime. Did you see the thief of their partner Pokemon? Or their partner Pokemon? No, nothing like that. Wait, if Barnes ran up the stairs, you'd think he would have run straight into the thief? If he didn't see anyone, could they have escaped from the second floor? Did you check the storage room? Yes, the door was already open, and when I looked inside, I saw that the Aurora job was gone. I then contacted Mr. Dennis and the police right away. Is there anyone who can corroborate your whereabouts at the time? Unfortunately not. It was only afterward that Mrs. Dennis came out of her room to see what the commotion was about. And the only others in the house at the time were Grow Life and Cleavable. Naturally, no one can take witness statements from Pokemon, so I'm afraid I have no alibi. That's where we come in. The Pokemon that live in the Mist Mansion might know something. Mr. Barnes, do you have any idea who the thief might be? Not a clue, I'm afraid. But I do know that Mr. Dennis and I are the only ones who can freely use the key to the jewel storage room. Noted. Growlife guards that key with constant vigilance. So I imagine it would be very difficult for anyone else to take it from her. I suppose it's no great wonder that the police suspect me given their circumstances. But I would never do something so senseless. At least this confirms that only those two have access to the key.
Yes?
Ducklet is my dear partner. Ducklet is my dear partner Pokemon. Just look at this photo. That's Ducklet. That's Ducklet. Why are you there? Yes, isn't she adorable? Just look at her feathers. Simply beautiful. But that's not all. She's also incredibly clever and even helps me out with my work. Oh, excuse me. I'm terribly sorry. I tend to get a bit carried away when I speak about Ducklet. It's really no problem. You mentioned that she helps you with your work. What exactly does she do? Let's see. She runs errands for me, such as buying coffee beans from a local cafe. Oh, she buys coffee beans. Nice! There's a place nearby called the Hi-Hat Coffee. Perhaps you've heard of it. She regularly goes shopping here by herself. If that's their go-to coffee, then it's gotta be for the Hi-Hat blend. Guess I shouldn't be surprised that Rhyme City's elites have such refined taste. I asked her to go to the coffee today, in fact, but she hasn't yet returned. Could she have wandered off somewhere? Do you have any idea what Ducklet might be? Unfortunately, no. The feathers found at the scene of the crime are Ducklet's, right? Yes, no question about it. But I haven't the faintest idea why Ducklet's feathers would be there. Just the thought of her getting caught up in the crime somehow. I'm so worried I can hardly think straight. Out of all the jewels in Mr. Dennis's collection, he considers the Aurora job to be his most precious. He worked tirelessly to acquire it in the first place. You might even say the Aurora job is the physical manifestation, the crystallization of Mr. Dennis's career as a jeweler. I wish nothing but swift retribution on the thief who stole it from him. For someone who speaks so formally, Barnes is a pretty passionate guy, isn't he? Please, Tim, find the Aurora drop. I beg you. Don't worry, sir. We're on the case.
Well...
Based on Barnes' testimony, I'm really not surprised the police suspect him. Yeah, if only there was another witness at least. About that, aren't you forgetting something, Tim? Huh? Barnes told us that Growlife and Cleaver were in the mansion at the time of the incident, remember? Oh right, maybe the Pokemon saw something. Exactly, you can leave the rest to me. Let's go question them, Tim.
Tim.
Huh? What?
Yo, main electric! Working hard? Hey! What did I ever do to you?
Hey! She still looks awfully suspicious of us. Let's try again later. Hey Growlife, sorry to bug you when you're already feeling down, but would it be alright if we ask you some questions? Grow! We're here to catch the thief. And we need your help to do that. Grow! You're willing to talk to us if it'll help Sanji? Thanks! Sanji? Growlife's nickname for Dennis. Near as I can tell. Alright. His full name is Sanjeev Dennis, so I guess Sanji makes sense. Anyway, Growlife, can we start with the questions? Growl! Gotcha. As Dennis's partner, it's your job to guard the mansion. And we already know the key to the jewel storage room was around your neck. Go! It's important to Dennis, so guarding it is important to you. Makes sense. Go, go! She says she'd never let anyone other than Dennis or Barnes even touch the key. Go! So that's why you feel extra responsible for what happened, huh? She's really got a strong sense of responsibility. Don't worry, the two of us are gonna crack this case.
Well...
Do you remember anything about the time of the incident? Go! You don't know, cause you were napping. Go! What? Your breakfast was so tasty that you ate too much and it made you sleepy? Heh, been there, believe me. What are you even talking about? Go, go! You woke up when Barnes got home? That would have been right before all the commotion happened. And when you woke up, your precious key was gone. Growl! Yeah, I can tell you're upset. Go! You'll do whatever it takes to help us catch the thief. Thanks. We'll come ask for an assist if anything comes up. Go, go! She says Barnes is a kind of well-mannered person. He and Dennis are close and she's never seen them fighting or arguing. Mr. Dennis really does seem to trust Barnes after all. Go, go, go! And Growlife likes Barnes too. Judging from what Growlife says, it's hard to think of Barnes as a likely culprit. There wasn't anything in Growlife's testimony that could help us prove Barnes' innocence. Only the one left to ask is Cleefable. I'll do what I can to get Cleefable talking to us. Thanks, Pikachu. Thief! What? You think we're thieves returning to the scene of the crime? You got it all wrong. We're not here to steal anything. We're actually great detectives looking to catch a thief. Please, can you answer some questions? Faye? Yes, really. Come on, you can trust us. Faye? Yeah, help us out and I'm sure Claudia's bad mood will clear up too. Faye. So, you're willing to talk to us? Thanks. Guess Cleefable was worried we'd do something better to Mrs. Dennis.
Hey!
Do you have a good job here? At the mansion? Faye. No job per se. Unless you can't spending time with Claudia. Isn't it tough hanging out with someone so prickly? Faye. Claudia's not a bad person, you say? Sorry, didn't mean to be insulting. Faye. So Claudia's always arguing with someone or other. But when it's just you and her together, she starts to regret the whole thing. I get it. Now, your job is to cheer her up when she gets into arguments. Wow, you're actually pretty nice. I bet Cleefable's are really important to Mrs. Dennis. Did anything strange happen today? Faye! Cleefable's saying she got really sleepy while playing in the mansion this morning. Oh, interesting. Faye! Then she dozed off and doesn't know what happened after that. That's too bad. What do you think of Barnes? Do you get along with him alright? Faye! Claudia doesn't like Barnes. So Cleefable tries not to have much to do with him. Faye! But she doesn't think Barnes is a bad person. After all, she says Barnes ran to help Turner when he got hurt. Wait, does that mean Cleefable saw Barnes going upstairs to help Turner? Yeah, it's got her. Cleefable, what else can you tell us? Faye! Cleefable was dozing near the front door this morning. When Barnes got home from doing stuff outside, she woke up and greeted him at the door. Faye! Then Cleefable and Barnes heard Turner cry out on the second floor. So they both went running upstairs. Interesting. Everything leads to Turner. Weird. And that's when, to their surprise, they found Turner on the floor. That means when Turner was attacked, Barnes was still on the first floor?
Okay, let's start deducing. Okay.
Alright, we've got some useful information. Let's stop for a moment and get our thoughts together. Based on everything we heard, is there anything that suggests Barnes is innocent? Let's review the information we gathered and see what we come up with. Barnes may not be the culprit. We need to return to the mansion after the crime had occurred. Now, this.
Okay.
We learned that Clefable greeted Barnes when he returned to the mansion. And Grove said she woke up at exactly the same time. Barnes and the others only became aware of the crime after that. Doesn't that mean Barnes couldn't be the culprit? Barnes was on the first floor when Turner was attacked. That would have made it very difficult for Barnes to steal the jewel. I'm not sure we can prove Barnes' innocence with that alone. Yeah, we can't exactly disclose that testimony came from Pokémon. No one would believe us. It looks like we're going to need other evidence to prove his innocence. Barnes has an alibi. Pokémon testimonies alone are not enough to prove Barnes' innocence. Look for strong evidence. We can't leave the suspicion around Barnes with Clefable's testimony alone. I think we're going to need some other kind of evidence to prove his innocence. But where should we look for it? Nothing immediately comes to mind. At times like this, it's best to try investigating other leads. We might find a thread somewhere unexpected that lead us back to this. The red Pokemon that entered the mansion is clearly involved in this incident. Somehow, look for the Pokemon in Run City. To get close to the truth of this case, we've got no choice but to find the Pokemon that witnesses saw. Witnesses reported seeing a red Pokemon in Ducklet. I wonder if the Pokemon that cut open the jewel case is the culprit's partner. It makes sense to think that, but no such human was seen by witnesses. Having said that, though, we might learn something if we can find the red Pokemon. Let's head into the city and get some leads on the red Pokemon. I'm sure we'll be able to figure out what Pokemon it actually is. At this point, it seems pretty unlikely that Barnes is the culprit. Ducklet is nowhere to be found at the Dennis residence. Find out where she went. But why did Ducklet leave from the second floor window? Seems unlikely that it's got nothing to do with a jewel theft. Finding Ducklet would be the quickest way to confirm that. Good call. Let's head into the city and look for her.
Okay.
Looks like the only way to continue our investigation is to gather info in the city. But where should we go? Should we go after Ducklet or search for the red Pokemon? If you're unsure, why don't we try following Ducklet? I think we have better lead to go on for that than for the red Pokemon. Alright, we did hear that Ducklet was supposed to go buy coffee beans today. I'll bet you, she went to the Hi-Hat Cafe. You're right, we should probably go search the coffee. Let's not waste any time, Tim. Guys and girls, I say fear. And I say I go back to the title. Yep. And with that I say, see you in the next part video, whatever you call it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below, comment section, ring the notification bell, and see ya. Your Achampnator. Bye!